Well, you are watching ACT's the Tenant Tax Awareness Week, and I'm joined now by David Cox, CEO of ARLA and also one of the Tenant Tax Coalition. And David, we're here at your amazing event, my first time here, so thank you so much for hosting us here today. Very interested to hear, is Section 24 on the radar at this event with lettings agents?
Most certainly, and I'm really pleased that ACT's the Tenant Tax have been able to come down, they've been able to speak at the event today, because although it is something that affects landlords, landlords are agents' clients, and therefore it affects agents. When we think that we've got a ban on letting agent fees just round the corner, if agents try to pass those on to landlords at a time when landlords are losing all of this money through tax, how far can landlords be squeezed? The government is attacking the sector from every which way at the moment, and there is only so far it can be pushed, and there's really only one set of people that get hurt at the end of this, and that's the tenants.
Absolutely, and I'm so pleased that you raised that point about the sector being under attack, because I think that's the bigger picture of the tenant tax campaign, because although government is saying only 1 in 5 landlords are affected, which we dispute, the fact is that if they are allowed to push this through, and that it comes to fruition, then what else are they going to do to hammer the sector? And we're already seeing the evidence.
That is the number one question at the moment. What's going to be next? Because we hear time and time again, ban letting agent fees, rents won't go up. Remove mortgage interest relief, rents won't go up. How are landlords supposed to make ends meet? And this statistic that seems to keep coming out of the Treasury, that only 1 in 5 landlords are going to get hurt by this, I don't even know where it's come from. It's not possible, because it's going to affect everybody with a buy-to-let mortgage. I think the statistics at the moment is between 40 and 50% of landlords are leveraged in some way, mainly through a buy-to-let mortgage, but also potentially through commercial. Now, there are ways that some landlords are thinking about incorporating, but you have to look at that on an individual basis. And with everything else, what is the end?
Absolutely, so that's why we want everybody to get behind this campaign. There is that bigger picture. Now, as an organisation, I know that you have been educating your agents of this issue and therefore, no doubt, helping them support landlords through these challenging times.
Absolutely. I suppose one of the key aspects that agents can do is raise awareness. Over the last about 9 months, we've been going out to our regional meetings across the country and explaining to agents through qualified tax accountants, explaining the changes so that they can explain them onto their landlords. Because when talking to agents, there is a shocking lack of awareness amongst the landlord community. To a large extent, landlords are not going to realise until they start getting their tax bills in the beginning of 2019. And suddenly they'll get whacked with a huge tax bill that they weren't expecting, which will then ramp up the next year and the following year. Unless they've got it in their business plans, some landlords, particularly those that are quite highly leveraged, are going to have a real difficulty. So it's about getting that message out now and pushing the government. We are pushing the government as much as we can. We've written to the Chancellor, we've had meetings with the Treasury, we've spoken to the Housing Minister, we've discussed it with senior officials today at the conference. We've had Baroness Hayter here today. We've been talking to Treasury, DCLG, MPs and Lords for months now about this issue. And to a large extent, they accept the rents may go up, they accept that some landlords may be squeezed too far and exit the market, but you've got to wonder, do they care? And trying to get this over to MPs that you're not squeezing landlords, the people you're really squeezing are the tenants that are going to be paying the higher bills. But there seems to be a complete disconnect in that correlation at the moment.
I agree with you, and I think, we as a community, we are going to have to unite. We are seeing that. We are seeing many different organisations with different agendas coming together, and I've even seen tenants now. There was an article in the paper recently, a tenant in Hull who was very concerned about the impact that Section 24 was having on him. And it's these human stories on a very human level that we take to our MPs that could make a big difference. So I'm sure you'll join me in urging everybody watching this to go and have a meeting with their MP.
I couldn't agree more, and that is actually one of the key things. MPs, they're voted in by their constituents, and therefore they need to hear from their constituents how this is going to impact them. And you can't hope for the professional bodies to do everything. Landlords, agents on the ground need to fight for this one. This is their livelihoods, their businesses that are under threat. They've got to go and speak to their MP. We can do it in Westminster, but it's so much more powerful with us talking in Westminster and them getting it from their local landlords in their constituency surgery. So yes, I would certainly urge all landlords, all agents to go and talk to their MPs about the constant attacks on the sector.